Hello. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you. If you are here to watch this video, I truly appreciate you so much. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and it's always been in the back of my mind. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I go through my little spurts of just being silly, sharing information, sharing my opinions and my thoughts on my Instagram stories. So I thought it would be a good idea to actually kind of start targeting a platform that is specifically for talking and videos. And although I can be very introverted and to myself and not have a lot to say, there are a lot of specific topics that I do want to talk about and do put my perspective and my journey and my thoughts out there because I feel like it could really help people. I definitely feel called to put information out there and put my experiences out there because, yeah, it just really helps build a community and find other people that are like-minded, like us, and that could really benefit from somebody else's perspective and journey. So here we are. I want to talk about taking risks today. What that looks like, what that feels like. If you hear movement, this is what we're dealing with. My two cats, Bodhi and GJ, playing around. Sorry for the distraction. They are my life, my soul, my best friends. Literally, I love them so much. But recently, I decided to take a risk and leave my current job. If you know me, you know that I'm a personal trainer in this area. And about a year ago, I just kind of started feeling super aligned with what I was doing and the community that I was surrounded by. I'm all about being very attentive to who we are giving our energy to, what we're giving our energy to. Because I really do believe that the people that you spend the most time with is who you are. And although I'm super grateful for everything that has happened in my life up until this point, because I've learned and I've grown so much, once I started noticing that I was in an environment that just didn't align with me, things started kind of spiraling downward in my own world. Because I'm an empath, and I know that that word can kind of be thrown around a lot and definitely underestimated, but I can really feel energies in the room. I can kind of see right through people and know their real intention. And I'm also about being involved with a community-like experience where people are genuinely supporting each other. You don't have to worry about any kind of off intention or what people could be saying behind your back. And in no way am I a supporter of this like toxic enmeshment type of environment. I really put value in the work that I do through training. It's not just about the physical and just fitness, and I've grown to really accept that because that's kind of all I've known up until this point in my life. I'm very about, injury prevention, mindset, wellness, right? So really taking care of ourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And a deep desire that I've always had is just truly being independent with my work and going virtual, going remote, and building my own online training business so that I can just travel, right? And help people and have access to them no matter where they are at in the world. And then also fulfilling my own desires and needs by just being able to pick up and go and experience this world that has been created for us. So About a year ago, I just started noticing that I just wasn't really for the environment that I was working in. I could just feel the energy change in the room. It just felt super off to me. Um, and it was very distracting for me, very distracting because when I walk into work, I'm there for my clients and I'm ready to work, okay? I'm not worried about what other people are doing and, who's doing what. And just basically like a gossipy, like drama sort of environment. And that I am so against that. Disconnecting the spirit from the flesh. Not saying that I don't ever get caught up in like gossip or, if somebody is kind of annoying me, like venting to another friend about it. Those things are okay. But when that's like the solid foundation of your topic of conversation, I tend to unintentionally and unnoticeably really pull back and stray away from those types of environments or people. And when I truly realized that my work environment wasn't for me anymore, I said, okay, like these, scratchy scratch, sorry about that. These are the cards that I'm dealt with, right? So what am I gonna do? You can't always run from hard and challenging situations. It's good for us to go through those things and work and learn how to maneuver them because it's just gonna make us better as a person, right? Life is not always easy. It's damn hard. And we're not always going to be dealing with people that are just like us, and not saying that they should be, right? But it's really important for us to stay in environments and people that could really be challenging ourselves and our own personal character. So I realized the cards that I was dealt with, and I said, okay, just block out the distraction. Remember that you're there to work, you're there for your clients. And I did just that. But like I said, energy doesn't lie. And I just found myself very distracted, getting very anxious and depressed, right? And as time goes by, it's just not working, right? Me just trying to keep to myself, it's just not working because when you keep to yourself, it's like, oh, like, what is she doing? Like, why isn't she hanging out with us? Why isn't she talking to us? And just very distracting for me. So I started getting like pretty depressed. And I'm like, wow, like, what the heck? Like, I just feel like, I've done these things within the past like few years. Like, I finally moved out of my parents' house, which is something that I know everybody moves on at some point, but just like the financial situation I was in, I just didn't think that I could do it. So that was a huge accomplishment for me. Being able to take care of my two babies when I thought like, gosh, I could barely take care of myself, and just being able to give them everything that I have and provide for them. And just within my training itself, like my philosophy and my take on it has grown, and the knowledge that I've grown these past 4 years of being a strength coach, and well, I like to consider myself a wellness coach as well, has grown so much. And this is a field that is very hard, and it requires a lot of inner work as well, because I don't take my work lightly. You're literally trying to reprogram and change people's lives, and that could get heavy, right? So me just growing up with very low self-esteem, I knew that along with learning and challenging myself with the training side of things, I also had a lot of inner work to do. So it was just a lot. And I just felt like I was reflecting back, and I'm just reminding myself of how far I've come and how far I've grown. But there was just still this side to me that just felt so anchored and so heavy and unmotivated and depressed. And that's where we really have to sit down and really analyze what's in our lives and what's going on and what could be causing turmoil. And then things just started clicking for me, and I realized that it was my work environment. Like, it was just too heavy for me. It was super unaligning for me, right? And none of this should be taken personal, because we all have different needs and all have different things that fill our soul and allow us to feel aligned. So I've truly targeted that it was my work environment that was creating this huge weight in my life and just pulling me down, right? And just being afraid to like kind of be myself and speak my philosophies with training and then not feel like people were saying things behind my back. And not that it matters and not that we should care, but we should never settle for anything less than 100% support with the people and the environment that we are surrounding ourselves with. Growth does not happen in our comfort zone. And I also felt like I was just getting very comfortable being in the same work environment, working with the same people. So also a combination of that, of getting very comfortable. And me, like, I love to take risks. I love to travel and live on the edge. So if I start to get comfortable in a certain area of my life, it kills me, right? Because we don't grow, we don't get better in comfort, okay? And although it can be very scary and very, very vulnerable to take risks, I promise you that you will be blessed in some way on the other side when you do decide to listen to the universe, to listen to that greater source, God, whatever that may be to you. You will be blessed and you will be led to something greater, right? And taking a risk does not have to look like, just leaving your job, right? It could be leaving relationships, which, this past June back in 2021, I ended a relationship and it was really hard, right? Because although we might not be happy in that relationship, it's comfortable, it's easy, and it's what we know, right? And we get so dependent, we can be blindsided by this dependency and forget that, we are capable of doing things on our own. We are capable of taking that step and, kind of putting aside what is no longer serving us, right? My heart. And then, like I mentioned, my true deep desire and something that I think about literally every day is having an online business and having the freedom to travel. I feel like not at first, not my first 1 to 2 years, right? I was so infatuated with the opportunity to be able to finally train people on the floor in person. But then it got to a point up until like last year, when I knew that my current work environment wasn't aligning for me, that it was almost creating this safety blanket, right? That comfort too, with that combination of the comfort and, oh, it's fine, like I'm doing in-person training, and it would cause me to just keep pushing off, working on my dream on the side, right? And then a combination of just not feeling aligned and the depression, it was just weighing me down from actually taking action and sitting down and creating what my online business would look like, what it means to me, and how I can help people and start blocking out everything else that everybody else is doing and really dial into my own belief system and the tools that I know and believe that can truly help people with their goals in health, wellness, fitness, all of that. So I knew that I had to just get myself uncomfortable and take a risk by just putting in my 2 weeks, right? And not having an exact plan, right? And there's always options out there. There's always other options. If you allow yourself to be stuck, then you will be stuck, but there's so much opportunity out there that really we have nothing to be afraid of when we take this step. So I knew that removing that safety blanket was really going to force me to dive into creating my dream and start working towards my dream. And if you know me well, you know that I have a pretty damn decent relationship with God. And like I said, whatever that looks like and means to you, right? This is a free space for whatever that is for you. And whenever I kind of go through these phases of just feeling very lost with lack of direction, there's literally nowhere else to turn to but up. and in here, right? And it's amazing because when people say you are loved so unconditionally, and whatever that is to you, is waiting for you to come running back, they are right there. They are right there. So I knew that I had to start pressing into God more because I needed direction. So I really just started praying about it more and diving into Him and just really getting back to that connection, because I kind of strayed away after my last relationship, and I ended that. I kind of had a fun summer. But I just said, God, like, what am I supposed to do? What is the first step, right? Because there's all these different ideas and things that I want to do, and it's so easy to get distracted, right? What is the first thing that I need to do, right? So I had a talk with Him before bed. I prayed about it. When you're really in tune with yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about. The next morning when I woke up, it was like, and although this is something that's been marinating in my head, right, for the past year, it's still like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I can't leave. This is all I know. What am I going to do? People are going to judge me. They're not going to understand, right? But when I woke up that next morning, it was clear as day, right? And it's not like I heard this voice like, it's time to leave. It was a thought in my head, like, that's the first thing that you need to do. You need to leaving your current job is gonna clear your mind, right? It's gonna get rid of distraction. It's gonna get rid of any judgment that you may let yourself feel, right? And it's really going to create this clarity for you, which already I'm feeling more clarity. And then this second testimony, right? If you're all into the signs, where are my sign people? You will totally get this. The next night, I had a dream, right? And I actually talked about this on my Instagram story. If you follow me, this will sound familiar. I had a dream the next night that somebody very close to me died. And I don't know who it was, right? Because that wasn't the point of who. I just felt so deeply connected to whoever has passed in my life. And I don't dream much. So when I woke up the next morning, don't always believe Google, but if I have a dream that is very distinct and I know that there's got to be some kind of meaning to it, I'll Google it. So I Googled it. What does it mean when, somebody close to you passes in your dream? And it just basically, I forget exactly what it was saying, but it was just basically, generally speaking, saying that, like, it's time for change. It's time to make a move, right? And I knew that was the affirmation from the thought that I had the morning prior to that of, you need to leave your job. It's going to help you find clarity. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I think that was on a Tuesday, Monday, sleeping into Tuesday. And it was Christmas week, so I didn't really want to cause any I didn't want to, rock anybody's Christmas spirits. So I said to myself when I woke up that next morning on Tuesday, I'm quitting my job on Monday, like, I'm leaving. So I was just mentally preparing myself up until then, and I couldn't wait. Like, just me knowing that I made that decision already in my head before actually saying anything and making it set in stone, I just felt so much lighter, and I knew in my heart it was the right decision, right? So that's where we need to really learn how to block out all of the thoughts and the judgment that's going on in our head and really get in tune with what our heart is desiring, okay? So I feel like when I talk sometimes it's a little bit all over the place, but I think everything that I said made sense. And also, side note, look at it this way. Which kind of discomfort are you going to handle? Are you going to take, and what you're going to settle for, right? The discomfort of where you're at right now, where you might not be happy, in a relationship or in your work environment or your job, your specific job of what you're doing, right? Is sitting in that and waking up every day feeling so unaligned and so unfulfilled, is that more painful? Or is it more painful of actually saying, what if I did take that chance? What if I did take that risk, right? And actually gave myself that chance of being able to follow my soul, to follow my heart, and to fulfill my dreams, right? Because on this side, if you're staying there, you know what the result is gonna be, right? And we tend to walk around like we're not, like we're gonna be here forever, and we're not. We're really not. And we need to really grasp that concept, right? We only get one life, I think. I don't know. Sometimes I believe in reincarnation, you know? But we only live one life, so why not give yourself that chance, right? It's okay to be selfish in a healthy way, right? As long as you're not intentionally trying to hurt other people, like physically or anything like that. It is okay to follow your true desires, regardless of what anybody else has to say or may think about that, right? And if somebody doesn't understand, if somebody doesn't support you, they're not for you. And that's the universe's sign of telling you that they don't need to be in your life, right? We cannot settle for anything less than just an uplifting, supportive system around us and people. So if you have something that you're struggling with in your life and this desire on your heart that you just keep pushing aside, I challenge you. I challenge you to really follow your heart and follow the signs and give yourself that chance, give yourself that risk, right? Because when we tend to follow our desires, we may not see it at first. We will be blessed. We will be blessed for following that purpose of why we're here and how we're supposed to serve others. So I really hope that made sense, and I hope that some people were inspired in some type of way. If you would like to reach out to me, you are more than welcome. Throw some comments, some questions down in the comment box, and reach out to me if you ever want to talk, because I'm totally here. I totally get it. If you watched up until this point, I really thank you. You are the best, and thank you for the support. Make sure that you like this video. Peace out.